125. Let's get to the second Strangers movie, which is The Strangers Pray at Night, which came out in 2018, 10 years later after the original. It is directed by Johannes Roberts, who also did the 247 Meters Down movies, which I'm a fan of, at least to a certain extent. It stars Christina Hendricks, who is great from Mad Men and Drive and some other things, Martin Henderson, Bailey Madison, Lewis Pullman, Damien Maffei, not many others. And the synopsis is a family of four staying at a secluded mobile home park for the night are stalked and then hunted by three masked psychopaths. So, like I was saying with the first one thing that I think opens this franchise up, or now that it's a franchise up for endless possibility, is the whole idea is three strangers terrorizing anyone. It doesn't have to have a big motive. There is no motive, really. And so basically, you could do anyone in any situation, anywhere. And so I think that's very exciting because you really could do whatever you want with it. And I think when this one came out, I watched this one first. I had heard of the original, but I had never watched it. I was like, all right, well, this one seems a little bit more like 80s, kind of B movie, my style. Like, I'll check this one out. And I think I did see it around the time it came out, maybe got the Blu-ray or something, but I've seen it maybe 3-4 times now, and I just rewatched it after I saw the first one. And I enjoyed the movie. I don't think it's as good as the first, but I think that it is another very solid slasher film, home invasion slasher film that reinvents itself by taking place in this trailer park and also adding some 80s elements to it as well, which the first didn't have at all. And I think firstly, the cast is pretty good. Christina Hendricks, as I said, I really like her and everything. I haven't seen many of the other cast members, I believe, but I love the actress, the daughter in this. I think she's great. And going into the original concept of the movie where, like, all right, well, we're going to this trailer park for the night. I think it was for like a vacation, or it was for, I can't remember exactly what the reason was. Maybe they're going to college. I can't remember. But the family just going there by chance and then showing up and it's all deserted. And then, spoilers here, the aunt and uncle are dead because of the strangers. And then the strangers knock on the door and say, is Tamara home? And everything lets loose. So the original idea is there, and then it's more of a outside sort of slasher film as opposed to it being a home invasion movie like the first one is, which I like. I think that's interesting. And so I don't know if there's anything really bad about the movie. There's nothing amazing in it either, I don't think. There are some good sequences. The bathroom attack where Christina Hendricks' character dies, I think is really good. The sequence where the daughter is being chased and she hides in that T-shaped plaything on the playground, and then the doll face shows up in the darkness. I love that. Like, there's a great use of shadow and light and sound as well, and a very good soundtrack, good 80s synth pop soundtrack. The pool fight towards the end with the son and the main like man stranger in the pool, and like they're going underwater and then above water, and I think all that is very, very good. Also, one thing that I do really like in this one that they took the chance and did, but it makes sense, and I mentioned this in the first film's review, is these characters, the strangers, aren't immortal. They're not Michael Myers. They're not like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre family or whatever. And they kill, like the daughter kills the blonde stranger girl. And that line of, why not? Like, why are you doing this to us? Why not? And it's a bounce off of, because you were home. And so I think that, again, adds that psychopathic, open-ended, well, I saw you on the street. Well, I saw your light was on. Why not? Let's go and terrorize you. And I think that's sadly, a very modern idea of people being able to get away with anything, feeling like they can do whatever they want and find ways of escaping and blaming it on somebody else or whatever it might be. And I mean, maybe that's weird to say, but I think that's kind of true in this day and age. And these little freak moments of terror and attacks, especially in public, that have been happening a lot. And so I like all that. I like how they actually do kill her. She's dead. But then you think, well, we don't know who these people are. They could just go find another girl to take over that position. So it's just one replaces another. So all that is good. I like I mean, the family relationship is actually fairly decent, I think, for a movie like this. I believe that they're a family. I like the relationships between each character, and I think you get enough to like, well, I actually feel like I'm getting to know these people. It's not these blank faces. I think I'm like, all right, well, the daughter's upset about this, the son doesn't get along with this person, the mother is upset about this, the dad feels this way, et cetera, et cetera. So I think all that I like a lot and is unexpectedly refreshing, because I think the first movie I believed that they were a couple, and in this I believe that they're an actual family. So that's saying something. The sequence with the dad after he's been in the car wreck and the stranger comes in and just sits right next to him, iconic. Love that. The final sequence, and I've forgotten about this, about the stranger, where there's that very Texas Chainsaw Massacre inspired ending where she's the only one alive, I think, and then she comes across someone driving by and she gets in the back seat or in the pickup of the truck and then barely gets away. And obviously that's very Texas Chainsaw, as I said, which, I mean, it is what it is. I wish they wouldn't do that as much, calling back to these classics, but I still think it's well done. And I like the look of the man completely on fire. I think that's good. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of very effective sequences. There's nothing where I'm like, oh my God, this is as good as the first, or this is the best slasher movie of the year or best horror movie of the year. It's nothing like that. It is fairly disposable. There's nothing really going on underneath aside from very basic family dynamics of a troubled relationship, that sort of thing, and making amends and not having that chance to, or trying your best to make things work, especially if you're in a situation like being chased by crazy killers. But yeah, besides that, the sequence with the cop where they show up, I think I like that a lot. And yeah, I think there's just not as many, like, it doesn't stick with me as much as the first. I feel like when I saw the first one, I remembered almost every scene very vividly, whereas this one, I'm sort of having to backtrack a little bit and dig a little bit deeper to remember certain things, even though I still liked it, and I like it a lot more than other home invasion films as of late. There's something more, maybe intentionally so. It's more comedic, it's lighter on its feet. It's not as, all right, this is dark, serious stuff. It's, hey, these innocent people are being chased by crazy people. Go. So that's basically what the movie is. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But there's just something about the strangers group, those ideas, and thinking about it in a realistic setting, and even just the look of those characters, very simple. Like, simple is best when it comes to horror. And I think that's something that these first two movies especially do very well. And I don't need it to be crazy complex. I don't need there to be a lot of effects. It's just, hey, what if this actually happened in real life? So I like it a lot. I can always go back and enjoy it, and I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. So that is a heavy 3.5 out of 5.